Hello there, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Jacob, and joining me today, as he does always, day in and day out, can't seem to shake him, is my teaching assistant, Mr. Curtis. Say hello to everybody, Mr. Curtis.
Of course, Professor. Thank you so much. You know you could never lose me.
I've tried.
I will always be with you.
He's stuck to me. I just can't.
Can you stop turning your head that way and cocking your head and like not breaking eye contact when you say that? It's kind of creepy.
I mean,
He's
I just want
like a Joltik.
I just want the professor to know that like I'm here. I've dedicated my life to the study of Pokemon under his tutelage.
Please look away from the professor and please blink. I hate that you're just staring at him.
You're
like a
you're
laser.
right. He hasn't blinked once. And in fact, I'm thinking back now. I'm not sure I've ever seen him blink.
I mean, if it would make you feel more comfortable, I can manage it for you.
Thank you for blinking, Mr. Curtis.
Thank you, Curtis, for proving that you're actually human.
And
gosh, it's not comfortable, but I'll do it for you.
And of course, the other person that you hear talking is the wonderful student that we have here in the classroom, our trainer in training, Corbin. Say hello to everybody,
Wow.
Corbin.
That's what. Hi, everyone. That's really nice of you. You never call me wonderful. You always say a bunch of rude things about me, and I'm glad to have you on my side. Maybe you woke up on the right side of the bed today. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad that you're being really nice to me today, Professor. I think it's gonna be a good class.
My bed has no right side. It's only a left-sided bed.
How does that?
I squished it up against the wall.
Gotcha. Okay,
makes total sense. Oh, yeah. Perfect logic. Thank you, Professor.
Yeah. All right, enough faffing about. Now let's get to the reason why we're here. I'm sure you guys remember, this is a classroom where we learn about Pokemon. So I guess I have to ask, does anybody know what Pokemon we're talking about?
I do! What's up, guys?
What the hell?
How you doing?
You destroyed my floor. How did you dig up through the floor?
It's cold. Don't worry about it. Diglets are naturally found in this region. It's perfectly natural for them to dig and tear up homes. I just asked for a favor. What's good, Jake? It's been give me a hug. Come on,
Nope.
Bring it in. Hug.
Not Jake.
Hug.
Professor Jake.
Hug.
Okay, he's hugging me. Oh,
Corbin,
okay.
Corbin,
there.
do you know
Are we
what
going to
Jake?
talk about the Caparaja in the room? Who the hell is this?
Yes, okay, students, teaching assistant, this is my colleague from Pokemon University, Professor Palm.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
Another professor?
You can call me Lucas. Don't bother with the formalities. Unlike Jake over here. I
could never Professor Palm.
Nah,
Could never
Wait, your
Professor
name is Jake? No way!
Well, of course, you would, as my student, would call me Professor Jacob, because,
Oh, Jakey! Yeah! I like that!
I like
That's
this
how I'm
kid.
calling that from now on. I like it. That's good.
Professor Palm, why have you broken into my classroom?
Well, obviously I like to keep in touch with some old buddies of mine. We were in university together. Why can't I stop by and say hello? And second, I keep up with some of your lessons. I hear a little bit here and there of what you're teaching, and you guys have been teaching my subject, and you didn't bring me along. And I gotta say, Jake, my man,
Rude.
I'm a little bummed.
Professor Jacob.
I'm a little bummed, buddy. I'm a little bummed, friend. You didn't call your boy. You didn't call your boy.
Bum, buddy. Yeah. That's bad,
Well-
Jake. It's bad.
Well, sorry, if I may interject, Professor Palm here has spent a lot of time in the Alola region. As he was mentioning before, his specialty is on the regional variants of Pokemon. So I've been doing my best to teach you, but as loath as I am to say it, Professor Palm is the leading expert on this phenomenon of variants in Pokemon. So
I keep inviting you to come and visit. Me and the missus, we'd love to have you over. It's a great place. Come on, you can get a tan.
Oh, Professor,
Yeah.
Can we go? Can we go, Professor?
Can we go? Can we go on a field trip to the Alola region? Maybe in the future?
We could take a sabbatical and do research.
You know what? Once we start talking about the Pokemon that primarily appear in the Alola region, then we can go and take a field trip on over to that region.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
I need to get away. I don't like Saffron City in the fucking winter. It's not fun. It's cold. My nipples are always hard. Not for the reason you might think. It's terrible.
Yeah, in about 800 weeks, we'll head on over to the Alola region.
All right, that's in like 2 months, right? I'm bad at math.
Well, we'll be happy to have you.
Even though Professor Palm and I, kind of see things differently, like I said, he's the leading expert, and having his help in this lesson would be incredible. Because I can't remember if I've said it yet, but the Pokemon we're learning about today is Sandslash.
Yeah,
the
sorry.
evolved form of Sandshrew.
I screamed that after busting through your floor. That might have. I realize now
Oh,
the
that's
entrance
right.
may have overshadowed the intent. I apologize for that.
That's fine. We have a team of Machoke and Machops that, are very handy, because believe it or not, the classroom does tend to get brutalized on occasion.
Yeah, we need to start teaching a class in like a fucking cushioned room or something.
Yeah, and like we'll wear those nice jackets that wrap our hands together, so we're like always hugging ourselves.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh yeah, I love to sleep in those. They're very comfortable.
Comfy.
Ew!
Yeah, I mean the Spinnerets, they weave me
Jesus.
one every night before I go to bed. So.
Wait, you sleep in a webbed cocoon every night?
Oh yeah, we've already discussed this. No need to go into the Spinnerack details today.
So if you're looking
Yes,
to
I
really,
agree.
if you're looking to really energize your sleep patterns, we actually just found that we can use Galvantula thread for the same thing. Gives you a nice tingly sensation. Same principle.
Ooh. I like
Yeah,
that.
Mr. Curtis, have you ever thought about utilizing Galvantulas and Joltics? They might give a little of that extra kind of shock you need in your
Yeah.
A crossbreed here, a hybrid between Spinneracks and Galvantula, or
Yeah.
Aridoses and Galvantulas.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Might be a good idea. I don't know.
Oh,
I
God.
hadn't really thought of that.
Best part is the best part is about Joltics. If you really want to just have fun, you can just take a handful of them and throw them at Snorlaxes and see how many it takes to wake it up.
I want to play. That sounds like a fun game.
Oh, it's so much fun. You should. We play it all the time in the Alola Arena. It's a blast. Jake
why don't
here
we-
didn't
why
like
don't
to
we
play
stop class and why don't we go play? Hey, Jakey, what do you say? Let's go play Snorlax Joltic Zap fun. Why don't we play
You
that
know
game?
what? Just for that, you automatically fail this week's pop quiz. I'm just
the
saying
fuck,
it.
man?
I'm just gonna say right now, you get an F from me.
I didn't say
it's-
anything.
To
Let
you,
the kid-
it's
hey,
Professor Jacob.
Jake, again, just like Helen, too formal. Relax. So what if he fucks up and says all the fucking words? Let's let him take the quiz like everyone else, and then we can say he fucked up.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
He's still gonna take it. He's just gonna automatically fail it.
Aw.
But that's not fair.
No.
Okay.
Listen, let me see if I can get things back on track. We're learning about Sandslash today, and it's excellent that Professor Palm's here because Sandslash, much like Sandshrew, has an Alolan variant. So hopefully we can get some, insight from Professor Palm on that. But of course, I would love to show you a Sandslash, but I just don't have one with me, unfortunately.
What?
Bro,
Since when?
dude, don't worry. I got spares. Hang on. Let me take them out. All right. So what do you want first? You want your Kanto variant or you want your Alolan variant? I like to bring them both along for these sorts of things.
Well, let's start at home. Let's bring out a Kanto region one.
All right. You got it.
Yo, let's see it.
Yeet.
Whoa! Whoa!
Ooh.
Those spikes on its back?
Yeah, Spiky
Fine,
Boys.
Yes.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of menacing looking, but it's also kind of cute. I don't know how I feel about it.
Now, if you really want to make sure you understand if it's going to eat you or not, look at the mouth. You see how narrow that snout is? That's something meant
Yeah.
for eating something a lot thinner, a lot more narrower, probably a lot more bug types. It's not going to be going after
Yeah.
you. I mean, unless you
Okay,
Hey, you're
okay.
way too fat.
Okay.
But
that's fair.
I hate to be the copperager in the room here, but those claws are pretty intimidating there, Professor Palm. I don't know if I want to get up in that business.
My man, please, Lucas. There's no need for formality, unlike Jake over here. Trust me. They are threatening looking, they are menacing looking, but these animals are some of, more or less, the peaceful end of the Pokemon that I've met. These organisms tend to survive
Aw.
purely off not messing with anything, defending themselves, and only attacking when necessary. Much like Ekans, really scary looking, but otherwise they're mostly harmless.
Well,
It's
that's
true.
cool. Hi,
I mean,
buddy.
both Sandslash and
So
Sandshrew
cute.
spend
Yeah, you can touch him.
a
He's
lot of their
trained.
time
You
rolled
can
up
pet
in a
him.
Yeah,
ball.
I'm a touch under his chin. It's adorable. Hi.
Okay.
Oh, I would hug him, buddy, and I'm kind of scared of this.
All right, let's
there.
see how the Alolan variant differs from the Kanto region one.
All right, come on, Frosty. You're up. Yeet.
Whoa, that's
Oh.
whoa.
Yeah, that's Frosty.
That's piercingly blue.
He's a
Holy
good
shit.
boy.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Now, I would
Did
not
you say
recommend
cold?
touching him. He is friendly. I would not, but he's ice cold. Not emotionally,
Ha.
but literally.
Good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, I mean, like, it looks like it's got. I mean, those glacier like things. Part of it. It looks like it's just ice on its back.
Yeah, so you might be wondering what on earth happened between these two organisms that make them look so different. In science,
That's exactly
we
what I'm wondering.
we have a phrase called insular gigantism and insular dwarfism. So what that means in scientific terms is that if you take an animal and separate them onto either a literal or a figurative island, let's say you had a bunch of rattatas and you dropped some in Kanto and others into a random canyon where they couldn't get out. You are going to eventually get
Wow, that's gruesome.
you're going to
but
get
okay.
eventually you are going to get differences in how they evolve and adapt and change to their ecosystem. The same happens at Alola and Galar and all other regions where you're going to get these different variations to survive in different ecosystems. It's a wonderful thing you see in so many different organisms, and that's why I love studying it, because the most important thing to understand about nature is that it's not strict. It's flowing. It goes with its own pace, and it fits whatever need it needs to. It's never going to stay the same.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
explains
that
the very
God.
classy looking mustaches on the Low and Rattata.
Yeah, no, those things are monsters.
Yes.
Those things are a pain in the butt in Alola. I do not like. No, fuck those things. Ugh.
You explain it so well. I mean, like, I love hearing you talk. Why can't we get this guy to teach the class full time? Am I right? I mean,
Saffron can't pay enough. Have you seen this dump?
whoa.
Wow, nothing really has changed since college, has it, Professor Palm?
Look, all right.
It's
True,
still the same
it's
old
true.
guy that I knew.
Come on, we have our differences, but we love what we do. You're my bro. You're my bro. You're my bro.
I mean, you guys
am
love
your
what you
bro, I
do, but he
suppose.
just makes more money than you.
Listen.
Yeah, but come on, I'm teaching the masses. He might get paid more, but you know, I get the karma points.
Well, that's the thing,
Right.
though. Oh, so your classroom setting, love it. The one student in this whole town that actually wants to come and talk to you, love the dedication. I have these talks where I get to have, so I actually get a camera set up and everything, and I'm able to reach thousands of people with our lecture. So that's the only reason I'm able to make any money. That unlike you, I lack the dedication for just one single cursing student, and I try and reach a few more people.
True, and I think
Yes.
it probably is a good thing they never really get to, meet you in person, because, well, I'm sure they might run off at that point.
No, man, we're cool. We get to have sweet conversations, dude. Alola's
I
great.
know, I miss these conversations that we always had.
Mhm.
Okay, should we
Shit.
talk about Pokemon?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but I just love hearing about your life. Like, this is great.
no.
So don't
Jake
worry,
is
Professor
right.
Jacob.
Jake is right. We have these two beautiful Pokemon, and you, my cuss-filled friend, are going to have to learn about them.
All right, let's go ahead and put those Pokemon back into their Pokeballs. So they're
Okay,
not distracting
come on, boys.
us during the lesson. And I think it's time we really get to the meat of the lesson. Let's read the Pokedex entries for Sandslash. First one here says, curls up into a spiny ball when threatened.
What
It
does?
can roll. Well, the Sandslash. I know it doesn't say what it is, but that's Kanto for you. So it curls up into a spiny ball when threatened. It can roll while curled up to attack or escape.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's very similar to what Sandshrew did, so it's not surprising that Sandslash can do that as well. All right, the next one here says, it is skilled at slashing enemies with its claws. If broken, they start to grow back in a day.
Oh, yes, it's fascinating. Oh, I'm sorry, don't mean to gush, but with the Kanto Sandslashes, do you know what their nails are made out of?
Ivory.
Ivory?
I don't know.
No, what do you guys think? Professor, sorry, I hate to firm out, I gotta do it. Try to do it, can't. Jake, come on. What is it made out of?
I don't know. Cartilage, I suppose, maybe?
No.
I don't know. Bone?
A keratin?
Yes,
I think,
you are.
right. Isn't there
You
a-
pronounced
a-
it poorly,
a
but you are
chitin?
correct. It is keratin.
Yeah, he does that.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh.
keratin is the same stuff that makes up your hair, your fingernails, the beaks of Pidgeys, claws. It makes up so many things in the organisms that are Pokemon, especially the ones with claws and hair. It's wonderful to see that they not only have the same as ours, but it's more rigid and able to grow so much faster. Even their spikes on their back are made out of it.
What?
I always remember that. Because that's what my elementary school teacher used to call me, Cretan Curtis. I mean, it was just It was
Oh,
it was
God,
it was
that's
kind
so
of like
sad.
an endearing nickname, you know. Curtis
Yeah.
Curtis the Cretin.
Endearing is a word in the dictionary. You can use it.
Yes. Okay. So let's move on. Next one here says is the last one for the Kanto region. It says, again, curls into a ball. Of course, it's talking about the Sandslash. Curls into a ball. It curls into a ball of sharp spikes and rolls into enemies. It is also adept at slashing with its sharp claws. Okay, let's move on to the Johto region. In an attempt to hide itself, it will run around at top speed to kick up a blinding dust storm.
Oh.
Are you familiar
Yeah.
with how fast a Sandslash is? I always find these things when it says top speed, people assume something along the lines of a Ninjax, but their top speed is similar to that of a Walrein.
What? Well, how fast is
Really?
that?
Well,
That
have you
seems
ever
very
tried to
slow.
outrun a Walrein?
Not yet. I've raced Mr. Curtis. That's pretty close, though, right?
No. This thing would easily flatten Mr. Curtis in a heartbeat. They're still quite quick. They're quick by our standards, but compared to other Pokemon, they aren't the fastest of the bunch. Even amongst Kanto, there are certain Pokemon like Pikachu that could literally run circles around this thing.
Huh, so Sandslash is kind of slow? That sucks.
Yeah, but the speed is enough
Well-
to kick up a storm, so it's still really good
Yeah.
defense.
And that's running. Let's talk about digging. The next Pokedex entry here says, if it digs at an incredible pace, it may snap off its spikes and claws. They grow back in a day.
Mhm.
So I'm sure Sandslash could beat a Pikachu, through the dirt.
Not just by typing, but just digging into a hole and just burrowing away and just waiting for it to get bored.
Yeah, true. Now this is interesting. Adept at climbing trees, it rolls into a spiny ball, then attacks its enemies from above.
Mmm.
Wait, really?
Interesting.
Yes.
So it's also
Behavioral
gonna climb in
variant.
trees. Okay.
So we have you have these Sandslashes here in Kanto. My thoughts is that there are certain smaller ones that have become adept at climbing trees and waiting to pounce on their enemies that way. So a Sandslash seems to be one of the most versatile creatures, even in
That's
just Kanto.
crazy.
Wild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they've probably persisted for so long because like they can dig, they can live underground, they can hang out in trees, and now in Alola they're hanging out in ice caps and stuff. That's crazy, man. These guys are resilient.
They're tough little buggers. It's why I love them so much.
They're okay, I guess.
No, they're
Do I need
great.
to bring out Frosty for you to say that again, Jacob?
Yeah.
You want to say that again?
Yeah.
We know you don't. You don't fucks
please.
with a man's Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's Professor Jacob. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Jake, apologize.
No.
Yeah, Jake.
No,
Please.
jeez. Okay, you know
Please,
what?
I no more Pokemon in the classroom. I already have enough to clean up today. It was they created too much of a mess the first time.
And of course, you do have that giant hole in the floor of the.
Hey,
of
that's
the
an
classroom.
entrance
right.
for greatness. Lucas's
Thank you.
greatness.
Finally,
Okay.
someone gets it. I've done that 4 times this week. You're the only one who gets it.
I get
Wait,
it. I
to
get it.
who? Whose floor have you been breaking through?
Well, I needed to get groceries the other day. The missus needed medication picked up the other day. Then I had to go ahead and go back to the grocery store because obviously you forget to get the organ berry she asked for. And then finally,
Of course.
we just wanted to go to a movie, and so we just popped by. Well, popped in.
And so every time you went through the floor.
Have you not seen an Alolan Dugtrio before? They're too fabulous not to use.
They are pretty damn fabulous. That's true.
They are.
We haven't talked about that, but Alola and Dugtrio and Diglett's quite fabulous.
Indeed.
Okay, so let's move on to the Hoenn region.
My favorite.
Yeah, Hoenn. Hey, they always come with bangers for these.
Hoenn
Pokédex
always
entries.
has wonderful data. It's my second favorite next to Alola.
Yeah. Birch is wild.
Well, I don't like to pick favorites for regions. It's all data.
Me and Birch are drinking buddies.
You and Birch were drinking buddies? What?
Yeah, the man can put it away. The man just puts it away. Like, he puts his
It
family
seems
to bed.
like he's still putting it away while he makes the entries. Cause he,
Yeah, he makes some wild claims. This one, I'll say, Sandslash isn't as wild, but sometimes he gets pretty crazy. Okay. Sandslash's body is covered by tough spikes, which are hardened sections of its hide. Once a year, the old spikes fall out, to be replaced with new spikes that grow from beneath the old ones.
Technically
That's crazy.
speaking, you're all doing something very similar as you shed your skin. They just do it all at once.
Well, actually, you won't believe this, but Mr. Curtis kind of does it all at once, too. It's molting day, as we call it. It's pretty horrible.
So can we put Mr. Curtis in a jar to study him? Like, we can put him in a nice container to study that? That sounds excellent.
Oh no, no.
You would not believe the amount of times I've tried to study Mr. Curtis. Like, I'll put him in in a jar with holes in, of course, so he can breathe.
Of course.
I'll put him in a cage. I'll put him in
remember that
like,
one?
a hole with no light. But and I'll turn around to grab something, and then I'll turn back, and he'll just be out of it.
I still hold to the belief that Curtis is not entirely human, but that's just a theory.
Have you ever
What are you
considered
talking
just,
about?
offering him a snack or something, sitting him down, and then just, observing him through, a one-sided window? I mean, you don't have to be so brutal about it.
Okay, You know what? You're right. Hey, we'll talk about this after class. You can give me some good research tips.
Yeah, he's
really
going to learn all
figure
our
out.
tactics. He's right here.
That's right. I appreciate the focus and the might I say attention that you've been giving me, but it's just I'm not really accustomed to that level of detail. I have to say I should not be the one here in charge of the classroom. Please, Professor Palm. Professor Jacob.
It should be Professor Lucas Palm. He should be in charge, but I mean, maybe one day. There's hope. There's hope.
No, I'm on his ground. The professor here. I'll say it this once. I know you like it when I say it. The professor here
God, I love
leads his thing.
All right. Sandslash, this is still the Hoenn region, by the way. Sandslash can roll up its body as if it were a ball covered with large spikes. In battle, this Pokemon will try to make the foe flinch by jabbing it with its spine. Spines, not the thing that's the bones inside of its back. No, it's spines.
Of course.
It tries to make the foe flinch by jabbing it with its spines. It then leaps at the stunned foe to tear wildly with its sharp claws.
Ooh. The ones in Hoenn are fierce. I like it.
Yeah, I feel like here in Kanto and the Johto region, we kind of just watch them from afar, whereas Professor Birch over in the Hoenn region just fucking makes them fight and just takes notes that way.
Birch gives 0 fucks. The man doesn't even wear shoes. He does not give a fuck.
Yeah, he's wild.
He's
wild.
He doesn't wear shoes? I
barely wear. He wears sandals and socks. The man does not give a fuck what people think of him.
I heard he gets attacked a lot. I've heard he's had several injuries. I heard
you don't hear the stories about when he attacks back.
Oh God, that's badass.
I'm just saying, I gave him some really nice shoes last Christmas, and he said that he was definitely gonna wear them.
He wears them he wears them on Christmas, and then he puts them in the closet with all the other shoes. But dude, I've been there. I tried getting him pants, not shorts, pants. Man literally cut them in front of me to make shorts. Love that.
Wow, that's a power move.
Yeah, man, the man is a G.
All right, we have one more here from the Hoenn region. It curls up in a ball to protect itself from enemy attacks. It also curls up to prevent heat stroke during the daytime when temperatures rise sharply.
Thermoregulation. Yes, you got it. Excellent stuff.
God,
yeah,
it's so excited. It just curls up into a ball. That's not that cool.
Yeah, he's just vibing. He's just vibing.
What's very interesting is that when most organisms want to thermoregulate, they spread their bodies out. They try and give as much way for the heat to leave the body. When you curl up, you're actually keeping more of that heat inside of you. So what it seems to be doing is this keratin scales and spines on its back seem to be absorbing most of the heat while the rest of the body where the core organs are keeping cool. So this must mean that this organism has perfectly designed itself to live in desert arid regions, but also forest regions and soil regions. This thing gets around. There's another Pokemon in Alola, something called a Toucanon, that can do something very similar, where it draws in heat and uses it as an attack. But this one seems to use it only entirely to keep itself safe. So maybe, who knows, in a few thousand or million years, we might have a fire ground type of Sandslash here in Kanto. Never know.
That'd be
man.
sick.
Hopefully we'll be there to research and study it.
Oh, maybe your assistant will. Your assistant might be. I don't know what he is. He is the only thing that has unsettled me in years.
I'm liking the sound of these cretin spines. They're kind of acting like like a radiator. of
Mr.
sorts.
Curtis, no, you're not getting cosmetic surgery on your spine.
Maybe.
No.
I was thinking about possible additions to my breed of super Spinnerax.
Oh Christ, no!
What do you-
Please
are you
change
gonna,
the
like,
subject so we don't get so he doesn't get any more ideas, please.
So that does it for the Hoenn region. Let's go ahead and move on to the Sinnoh region. There's only one Pokedex entry here, but that's fine. It says, it curls up and then rolls into foes with its back. Its sharp spines inflict severe damage. It's interesting, though, because in the Hoenn region, they said that they kind of really only use their spines as kind of like, a stunning mechanism, right?
Mhm.
But here, it seems to say, like, that's the thing that does you, right? It's the sharp spines that inflict severe damage. Okay, so I believe that does it for the Sinnoh region. They don't really have too much new going on there. Of course, Unova, nothing new. Kalos, again, nothing new. They, honestly, Professor Palm, I don't know what it is about those regions, but they rarely seem to bring anything new to the table.
Lazy.
Jake, I agree with you 100%. I feel like Kalos is always obsessed with appearances, and then we have the Unova region, which is all focused on industry. I feel like they're really skipping on the proper research and funding to the scientific endeavors. I really feel like they could be doing a lot more. Although I will say, if there's 2 regions to go and have a party, those 2 regions are on the top of my list to go to.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
Oh, yeah.
I will write this down.
Now, if you want to just go head to Unova, head to the big cities of Unova, trust me, you will have a blast. It is great.
Hell yeah! I can't wait to go when I'm old enough. I'm only 10.
Yeah, I recall, I believe you and I did go have a quote-unquote party in the Unova region once. If I recall correctly, though, I did get drunk and I woke up on the streets. Did you leave me there?
I did not leave you. The Gardevoir that took you out of that party left you. It's a completely different thing. I didn't leave you. She walked out with you. You said, I'm going to have a great time.
No.
I didn't see you the rest of the night until you came back.
Whoa!
No. I need
Hold
on the record.
Whoa!
On the
Okay,
record.
no! I need
have
to call
never
Officer
hit on-
Jenny. Are you trying to imply that Jakey Boy Professor here has committed
No.
interspecies relations?
I have never once hit on, been attracted to, or mated with a Pokemon.
Why are you blushing?
No
Why are you
one
blushing?
no one has stated this out loud because we cannot confirm nor deny that it happened. I will say that I was wrestling a Feraligatr in the corner with a crowd. It was great. I was distracted. I don't know what happened to you after I saw you walk out with her. Or him. It's hard to tell sometimes.
I think I need to go get a plane ticket to Unova, and I think I need to talk to a Gardevoir. I need a name and the location of that restaurant, please.
Mm-hmm. No, it was a great time. We had a good time. He came back really angry, but like when he was drunk, like when he was like really, really drunk, he was the funnest I've ever seen him. I've never seen someone just punch a cop. I've never seen someone just do it.
Whoa, you punched an officer, Jenny?
Wow.
No, listen, this must have been somebody else that he was with.
Here, let me just take out my phone here. Yo, take a look at the pictures. There it goes. Look at the pictures. There's his fist, and there's the Jenny catching it and then pushing him to the ground.
You got actual pictures of
Okay,
it?
I do remember getting pushed to the ground. That was pretty rough.
You sound like you were a lot of fun back in the day. I'd like to see you get drunk and be that professor for class again.
No,
Maybe these
listen-
classes would be a bit better.
No.
Me too. I agree with you.
Professionalism. Listen, learning about Pokemon is a professional endeavor, and we need to have that. We need to understand that severity when we're here in the classroom. So I would appreciate it if we
Severity,
could all
but not
focus-
sobriety. Get the drinks, boys. Come on, let's see it,
Listen.
Professor.
Yes, all hail to the proper formality of the work we do. Cheers, brah.
What?
Yes,
did you get that
I don't.
drink?
I don't have a drink. I don't. Where's my drink?
Yo, I got a lemonade. Here you go, sport. Here you go.
Oh, thanks. Oh, that's good.
Jesus. Okay. Did you? I mean,
that's good.
did you
Hey,
bring anything for
you
me?
know, there's a strict no food and drink in the classroom policy.
Fuck you,
I'll drink
Mr.
it
Curtis.
fast.
This is great.
I want to
the best
remind
class ever.
everybody of the rule. packet you signed when you joined the class?
Shut up. This is the best class ever. Professor Jacob never brings us snacks.
Because there is no eating in the classroom, you know.
Well,
Of
there
course
is
we do
now
science and
under new
experiments.
rules. Am I right, Professor Palm?
Yeah!
All right, everybody calm down. Jeez, I need to regain control of my classroom. Let's move on to, I would say, the most boring and gross region, the Alola region.
You shut your miserable, untanned mouth!
Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
I just wanted to see his reaction, I'll be honest. Let's go ahead and read the Alolan region Pokedex entries here. Although they are sharp, its claws and spikes often break off. They grow back the next day, so it's not bothered by the temporary loss.
Mm-hmm. See?
So-
Doesn't need to. That means it can attack a lot more frequently or defend itself more frequently without having to worry about damaging itself. Think about the last time you threw a punch at that cop. You had to remember that your fist could actually break, and it wouldn't repair for a few weeks. The Sandslash wouldn't have had that problem.
Alright, the next one here says, it uses its claws to climb trees, and then curls its body into a spiny ball, ready to drop onto any prey that appears.
Yikes.
Again, this is information that we already had.
We don't talk about what they eat as much either. Most of these dexes, we talk about them being hunted, but remember, they are still going to be predators. They're not going to be feeding on grass. These things, looking purely at the mouth, are probably going to eat anything that they find that is going to be narrow and skinny enough. My money is on caterpies in the Kanto region or any other small bugs. Grubbins. They can feed on all the grubbins that live out in the
Maybe an
Alola too.
Ekans? You could slurp up an Ekans like spaghetti. I don't know.
It's the mouth is designed, if you look at the shape of the skull, the mouth is designed for small 1 or 2 bites. And Ekans you have to slurp that thing up. It takes a while. It takes a very specific group of Pokemon to just hunt down an Ekans. Think of Pidgeot or something.
Maybe a nice Spinarak. Maybe you can devour a nice Spinarak.
Oh, a Spinarak could do damage on all of these Pokemon. They are a horrifying mess that I love very much.
Thank you. Yes, yes. The Spinarak and Ariados purebred team grows even larger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, actually, to go back to something that you said a little while ago there, Professor Palm, I know you haven't specifically read the Pokedex entries for all the Pokemon like I have, at least not recently. You'd be surprised at how many of them actually do mention a Pokemon's diet. We learned, in fact, it mentions that Sandshrew does eat bug Pokemon, so I would not be surprised. I think you are definitely correct in that Sandslash continues on that diet of eating bug Pokemon. But yeah, it talks about, a lot of things that the Pokemon eat. Like, both of the bird Pokemon that we have over here in the Kanto region that we've talked about so far, Pidgey and Spearow, they eat bug Pokemon as well. Raichu, of course, eats pancakes.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to apologize for that Pokedex entry. I didn't write it, but it sounds like I wrote it, but I didn't write that one. That one is one of those where I had to take a shot of like, really? This is the best we're going to do for our region for this surfer boy? Okay.
You guys cut it loose too, man. You got some
Yeah,
wild
we have
energy
to cut
there.
it loose. It's hot out here. You got to relax.
Yeah.
Is it true? No, I have to ask, is it true that another name for Raichu is in fact Hodad?
Honestly, it is, but only at the tourist shops to get you guys to buy more merch.
Oh, that's a good marketing tactic. I
Yeah,
want to buy
There's
like 30 Hodad
tourist
shirts.
Alola and real Alola, and I just got accepted to being part of real Alola after like 2 years. Believe me, it's a hard sell for the locals to just get some outsiders, some mainlanders to actually, be part of the stuff. That was my real honor.
Huh, that's awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe when we come around in 800 weeks or so, you can show us what real Alola is like.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
well, it would be my pleasure.
Okay, moving on with the Alola region Pokedex entries. I believe that there's 2 more here. It says, this next one says, its claws and horns often break off. Interesting, that's horns. I wouldn't really call those horns, but okay.
Okay, horns. Right.
Yeah, its claws and horns often break off. The broken claws and horns, again, it uses horns, can be used to carve plows for tilling farm fields.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting.
See, this is what I love about living in the Alolan region. A lot of times in the Alolan region, we tend to tell people what we do with these Pokemon and how they help outside of fighting and outside of combat. So we can show how working with Pokemon And just using parts that they're not using anymore can make our lives better. We don't always have to use them for fighting or showing off. We can use them to help make our lives better.
That's a good point.
Pokemon are great for living with and working with and worshiping and Mm-hmm.
Well,
you've been worshiping at the Volcarona Shrine, haven't you?
No, I was talking about our loving Lady of the Night, the Queen Ariados.
Lady of the Night?
The Lady of the Night? What?
Yeah.
Yes.
You understand that Ariados is spit, right? You know this. Like they spit.
Yes. No, I have quite a collection of them at home.
I think
and making sure you remember that they do spit. So watch both ends on them.
Mm-hmm. Our Lady Queen of the Night, the Queen of the Ariados.
This is the first time I've ever heard you call them that, but whatever.
She's the object of many of us who worship the Spinnerack.
Who's us? Who's us? Is your fucking assistance group of the World United, whatever it's called, is it just a cult to worship Ariadoses? I feel like it is.
Honestly, dude, just make sure you look for any of them with these little Spinnerack pins on their shirts. Like that's usually like they're pretty obvious. Like they're scattered.
Those.
Oh no, the Interregional Association of Assistants of Professionalism is less of a of cult to worship a dark god and more of a secret society that aims to help and help guide the world into the direction that it needs to be moving. So
those sound like the same thing. I'll be honest.
Sounds like a New World Order or something. It's
settling, but I like his energy.
You know what? Listen, I'm here to talk about Pokedex entries, not to question whether or not my assistant is a part of a massive worldwide cult. So, I was going to go ahead and read this next one. I think I'm looking at it now, and this one definitely has your kind of vibe to it, Professor Palm.
Mm-hmm.
It says, thanks to its thick claws, it's good at climbing.
What is
there are... Sandslash.
Okay. Just checking.
There are plenty of Sandslash that park themselves in trees and go right to sleep.
I'm sorry, did it say park?
Well, yeah, I mean... figuratively.
Park themselves. To park oneself is to put... No, I mean, they still need to park themselves. Park your butt in that seat is one of my favorite things to say to the one or two assistants I have when I have to yell at them.
Wow, you got multiple? Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah, I got like 3 or 4 of them at a time. They take shifts.
Wow.
They get vacation days.
That's great. So you have assistants that have benefits and you have multiple of them? Wow. Hey, Mr. Curtis, what do you get?
I mean, I would never, even if I was offered vacation, I would never take it. There's
How about
never a day that
healthcare?
I don't want to be here and assisting the professor, No, healthcare is not needed. I found that I'm very hardy and
It's true. It's like a Mudsdale, this guy.
Yeah,
Jake,
dude.
you got yourself a keeper in that I wouldn't want to keep him.
a purified and diluted, very light dosage of venom from a Spinnerack goes a long way in terms of an analgesic and antiseptic. So it solves most of the problems I have on a regular
Side
basis.
effects of Ariados poison. No blinking.
No, not once. No, yeah, I mean, when it comes to being my teaching assistant, let's be honest, I'm the only benefit that you really need, right?
Of course, Professor. Of course,
That's
Professor.
a terrible benefit, but yeah, whatever.
I will choose to stay silent for once.
Perfect. That allows me to read the Galar region Pokedex entries. The Galar region says, the drier the area Sandslash lives in, the harder and smoother the Pokemon's spikes feel when touched.
Are you all familiar with erosion? So obviously from the drier and more desert area, it's probably going to get more eroded by sandstorms and other harsh elements to make them nice and smoothed out. I wonder if the same is true of onyxes. Oh, I gotta get the Doug Trios to go help me find one.
Right now.
Well, now,
we're not done with class yet. You gotta stay.
Later. This comes
okay.
later.
Well, maybe erosion causing it to be more smooth makes the Sandslash a lot faster.
Ooh, now see, I like this kid's head.
Yeah! See, he gets it. He understands what goes on.
I mean, I'll be honest. This is probably the first insightful thing Corbin here has really ever said.
Hey,
so.
that's not true. I say things all the time, and you choose not to listen.
I mean, you say things all the time.
Insightful things.
Insightful?
It takes
I don't
a
know.
certain level of intelligence to get it. And I tell you what, Professor Lucas Palm, he gets it, man. He gets it.
All right, let me just read the last Pokedex entry here. It climbs trees by hooking on with its sharp claws. Sandslash shares the berries it gathers, dropping them down to Sandshrew, waiting below the tree.
That's adorable.
Oh.
Parenting or social gathering or social grouping behavior? Which of the two?
Well, so for most Pokemon, I wouldn't necessarily call an evolved form the parents. Yes, they are generally the older ones, but they aren't necessarily the parents, right? You can be a Sandshrew and have
Be an adult.
offspring.
Of course.
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily call it parental. I think it's just, this Pokemon has evolved, it has more skills, it's stronger, so I think it's more of a social aspect.
Right.
I believe this could also be connected.
dynamics.
So this could be connected to how the Pokemon helps provide its own species to survive. Think about it. In order to evolve, a Pokemon needs energy. One of the basic forms of energy is food. This Sandslash is either on purpose or accidentally helping to grow more Sandslashes by making sure the Sandshrews get fed long enough to survive. This is fascinating stuff. Man, I love the Galar region.
Wow, that's crazy.
All right, so as we always do, we have some unique Pokedex entries here because now I don't know if you know this, Professor Palm, but there are some Pokedexes that seem to have a mind of their own, and they have completely different entries from the regional entries that we have.
Oh, that's right. You guys don't have the Rotom Dexes here yet. Oof, sorry. No, we got the Rotom Dexes. They literally have a mind of their own.
Well, no, we choose not to use Rotom Dexes.
He's keeping us in the past, Professor Palm. Can you believe it?
I can. Actually, I can. This man tried to make me read a book once.
It was a textbook for our class that we were
And I
taking
had
together.
the digital version ready to go. Why did you bring me a book?
Yeah. Save the trees, idiot.
Oh, let me write that down on my stencil here. Hold on.
Yeah, do that.
All right, so the
Okay,
first
very
unique
good.
Pokedex entry comes to us from the young man Ash's Pokedex. This Pokedex says, Sandslash, the mouse Pokemon, the evolved form of Sandshrew. It attacks opponents with the quills on its back. All right, we have one more unique Pokedex entry here. It comes to us from Don's Pokedex. It says, Sandslash, the mouse Pokemon. When it runs at full speed, it sends up a thick cloud of sand in order to hide itself.
Yeah, so that's similar to one of the ones from the other regions we've read.
Yeah,
Not bad,
yeah.
good defense.
Yeah.
Okay. That does it for the common Sandslash, or I suppose the Kanto region Sandslash Pokedex entries. But of course, we have to talk about the Alolan variant of Sandslash.
My good boy.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Professor Jacob, please break that down for us.
Well,
No.
actually,
No. Let the
do you
expert
mean?
handle it. Let the man who knows his shit handle this. Professor Lucas, please.
Corbin.
Yeah, thank
Corbin.
you. Thank you very much. I will take it from here, Jake. Trust me. This is why I dug through your floor.
Professor Jacob. That's fine. You know what? I was going to ask you to read them anyways. Please be my guest.
All right, so let us start with the Alolan region, where they are originally found. Fleeing a volcanic eruption, it settles on snowy mountains. As it races through the snowfields, it sends up a spray of snow. So, this tells you quite a bit about how these organisms came about and why they evolved to look the way that they do. These organisms needed to find a place where they weren't going to get toasted to a crisp. Now, ground types, they can hold their own against fire types, but you can't hold your own against lava. So they probably had to run to the you had to run to the snowiest part of the mountains of Alola you can. And there aren't too many snowy places there. But while they lived there, they were able to adapt and use their body that is so adapted for living in the sand to now work to living on the ice and snow.
That does seem like a pretty major change, right? A major change in climate. Why would they go from dry, arid regions near volcanoes to the coldest mountaintops that they could find? Why wouldn't they feel more at home in the forests or maybe the beaches of Alola?
Think of it this way. If you are on this mountainous volcanic rock, and you have just seen...
Wait. Let me close my eyes. Let me get there.
You're on this violent exploding rock, and the lava
Okay.
is just coming on down, and you still
Oh
survive.
God. Oh no.
but-
It's coming at me.
Hey,
Oh,
it's not
jeez.
real. It's not real.
You survived,
Professor,
though.
Professor.
You survived.
We're in
But
the
think of
class.
it
Oh,
this
thank
way: you now just saw all this lava come down and torch everything in your way. If you try going back to the forest, there's a chance it could happen again. So where's the one place the volcano is possibly not going to explode? You look around and you see there's some mountains that are untouched. Oh, they're blue and weird and white in color. You've never seen that before, but it works out. A lot of people don't realize that this isn't a one-day change. Over time, the Sandslashers probably moved more and more and more and more up the mountain in order to find places to survive. They probably still have to come down for food of some sort when they're sparse, but otherwise, I think this organism really is just slowly moving its way up to a place where it's less likely to get torched. So, on to the next century. We have another one. This Pokemon's steel spikes are sheathed in ice. Stabs from these spikes can cause deep wounds and severe frostbite as well.
Wow.
So now you see why they don't have any predators. Very few of them are stupid enough to try.
Huh. I mean, I wouldn't want to try with a regular Sandslash anyway, but holy shit, it's not worth frostbite. Jesus.
No,
no.
It's an insult to injury, or injury unto death, as I prefer to call it.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced something close to frostbite? Any of you?
I stuck my hand in the freezer once. It hurt.
Only
Cool.
once?
Imagine that, but the freezer went into you.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the freezer
Not
stabs
be
you.
okay.
So now not only are you wounded, but now the frostbite is kicking in, so the wound isn't going to have time to properly heal. You're probably going to lose that hand.
Oh,
That's
fuck.
dead skin.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Alola, we don't mess around. One of the things you'll see on many islands and many isolated areas is that certain organisms can turn out to be much more terrifying than they originally were before coming there. Sandslash in Kanto is cool, but it's not, I'm going to freeze your wounds cool.
I didn't expect, or I didn't know that there had steel spikes underneath that ice. I mean, to me, when he was in the classroom, it just looked like it was ice and icicles that were sticking out of his back.
No, despite what they look like, they are also part steel as well. They have a large buildup of iron in their diet, apparently, and it seems to get them to get a lot stronger in the physical attack department.
I suppose so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, we do have a few more from our lovely region. So, it runs across snow-covered plains at high speeds. It developed thick, sharp claws to plow through the snow. So, somehow, it learned by adapting to living in the snowy areas, when it's snowing, it gets faster.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's a nice, lovely, snowy day. What's that coming down the mountain? Oh my God!
It's a fucking Alolan Sandslash. That's crazy.
Jesus.
That's crazy. So, but you don't even need to shovel your own snow in your yard. You can just use one of these guys.
I don't know. Think of it this way. They like playing in the snow. They have very little reason to get rid of it.
That's true. That's
a
adorable.
good point. They more just like move it around than really clear it, I suppose. But you can train Pokemon to do really pretty much anything. I'm sure you could train it to clear your snow.
Now this last one provides a lot of explanation. Hang on, I have to get my voice to it. A long, long time ago, it lived in the desert. With its sharp claws fully extended, it can climb right up an iceberg without slipping.
Whoa.
Now, did you catch that word? There was one word that it said that in that deck that you should catch.
Iceberg.
Iceberg, that's one word to keep an eye on.
Was
Good.
it
What
iceberg?
another word?
Yep.
Slipping.
Extended, maybe.
There. That's it. Extended. These claws are retractable.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Only the Alolan one?
Apparently.
I mean, that's kind of what this Pokedex entry is suggesting, that Alolan Sandslash's claws are retractable.
Well, it says extending. That doesn't mean necessarily it's like a nub and then it just goes whooshing like a fucking
This is also
sword.
true. It could be, it's probably not going to come all the way out or all the way back in, but there might be a certain amount of give where it actually can go a little bit in and a little bit out in order to make walking around a little bit more comfortable.
True.
I guess maybe if it doesn't want to, if it doesn't want to like stick to the ice, but if it wants to slide around.
It also, if you point out, have we read anything about its claws breaking and growing back?
Not with the ice one.
No.
it hasn't
No, we
gone for a
haven't.
while.
I think that's probably what happened as it evolved. It gave up the ability to regrow its claws in favor of just super strong, sturdier ones with more abilities of their own. Fascinating
Huh.
stuff.
That's crazy.
It is fascinating. I
Wild.
would say. I
Now,
agree.
they were able to bring one over to your guys' end of the ocean, and they were able to come up with a dex entry for it. Let's see here, the Kanto for, yes. This Sandslash's form after adaptation, this is Sandslash's form after adaptation to a frigid environment. The cold air emitted by its body sharpens its icy spikes.
That's cool.
Ooh.
I mean,
So
do you know why I keep an Alolan Sandslash with me at all times?
For AC.
Yes,
you like
got
how
it.
it looks.
It's AC and I like how it looks. Like, it literally gives off icy, cold air. Not only does that make it tougher, but when you're living on an island beach, having a living air conditioning system is really nice. And considering things like vanilla, which is one of my favorite ice types, can literally start a blizzard, I'd rather have the one that just gives off a little cold air, just a taste of it.
Wait, wouldn't an Alolan Sandslash melt in the warmer parts of Alola?
Why would it melt? It's also part steel. Remember, it's not made of solid ice. It's adapted to living in the ice.
Ah, good point. I learned so much with
okay.
you, Professor Lucas. This has been so exciting.
I'm just here to help. I'm here to help. Good friend teaches students. Well, student. And the weirdo in the corner.
Hey,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, we're all students, right? And he's not my only student, right? He's the only student that's here in
I
the
don't
classroom.
know.
I have what was the last number that we had, Mr. Kerr? I think it was in the thousands, maybe.
Yeah, of course.
Thousands have signed up, but we only have a few listeners.
No. Listen, it's all about getting that money, right? They paid the
Yes,
bills.
finally,
so-
we agreed.
Listen,
That paper. I do have some from the Galar region because they were able to import. Those got imported into the region somehow.
Yeah. No Spinnerax, though.
Yeah, none of those filthy spitting
non-Galar.
spiders that you love so much. I love them too, but they are still filthy. Is not an insult; it's a fact.
Well,
They are gross.
I didn't. No.
Yes.
I said filthy, not gross. Gross is an insult. Filthy is a fact.
What? How is gross less of a scientific term than filthy?
Well, like Mr. Curtis is filthy. He smells every day in class. Professor, you're gross for trying to get it on with a Gardevoir. That's the difference.
That never happened. That never happened.
There's no evidence of that.
There's
Yet,
no evidence
Corbin?
that it didn't happen. There's no evidence that it happened. However, as scientists, we must always remember you cannot prove a negative. So we have to prove that he did it. We cannot prove that he did not do it.
Thank you. Go ahead. Read us the Galar.
Yes,
Alolan
I'm sorry.
Sandslash,
All right,
please.
so in Galar, it uses its large, hooked claws to cut a path through the deep snow as it runs. On snowy mountains, this Sandslash is faster than any other Pokemon. And I have to stop right there.
Wow.
I have to stop. There are some really, really, really fast Pokemon, especially in Galar. Have you ever seen a Dragapult go at full speed?
Can't say
They
I
are
have.
pretty fast. I think, if I may, Professor Palm, I think it's talking about specifically running through snow in the mountains.
I see.
So-
I see.
If you took a Dracopult and put it, if you made it walk around on its feet, yeah, I think a Sandslash is going to outrun it.
Yes, I believe
I think that's what because otherwise it would conjure a lot of unbelievable feats. Because listen, this is something that we've talked about before. A Pidgeot can actually fly at Mach 2. So if a Sandslash could run faster than that in the snow, that would be horrifying.
On to the last Dex entry, and this one I feel that I'll explain afterwards. Many people climb snowy mountains, hoping to see the icy spikes of this Pokemon glistening in the light of the dawn.
Well, that's poetic.
That's adorable.
So I have some
Okay.
feelings on this, and it involves Alola and places like it. We like having visitors. We like appreciating visitors. However, when too many people start climbing up the mountains, they start breaking things. They start disturbing the ecosystem, and that's one of the
Man.
few things that gets me riled up, that gets me to act up. I don't like it when people break my nature.
All right, settle down. It's okay. I know it's frustrating. It's okay. You're just Just a man who
don't
loves
get me
his
wrong,
environment.
it is beautiful, but check this out. I have it. Let me send you an email real quick. Here's a video of it glistening in the light of dawn. Now they don't have to climb
Aw.
up the mountain. Please,
That's so
please,
pretty.
please keep them off the mountain, especially during what's called our peak season. We get enough people going.
The description here says I have to forward it to 10 friends. Do you guys know 10 people? I don't.
I mean, no, ignore that. That's for my class. That's how I get it to spread out.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so smart. How is they're doing that?
Mm-hmm.
But man, if you hate things that mess with the ecosystem, you're just gonna despise these spinneracs that Mr. Curtis is cooking up.
Oh, God.
They are destroying the ecosystem.
Whatever happens to them will happen to them. I don't believe in preemptive strikes, but if anything threatens the ecosystem, I'm coming for it, and I will burn it.
Well, we haven't seen a Caterpie in about 6 weeks here in the Saffron area, so.
Oh, that's no good. I like Caterpies.
Just,
They're great.
Just keep out of the forest around my house. That's all I have to say.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Note to self:
all right.
remove forest around his house.
All right, so thank you so much, Professor Palm, for
it is my
taking
pleasure.
care of the Alolan Pokedex entries
Yes.
there for me.
Yes.
Jake, it is a pleasure and a privilege.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna read this. It's a quick, uncredited, unsourced article. And now, Professor Palm, I like to read these because I want to teach my students, to have a critical eye. We've read the Pokedex entries have been tried and true. They've been researched. They've been peer reviewed. So we know that they are 100% true. So with these articles,
Yada. Come on, Professor. Let's get on with it.
I just want to say it's important for them to use a critical eye and determine for themselves what they believe is true and what's false given the information that they know is true. So, I'm going to go ahead and start reading this. Sandslash is a bipedal ground-dwelling Pokemon. Although Sandslash is usually bipedal, it can run on all fours. Most of its underside is light yellow with a white underbelly. It has a narrow muzzle, almond-shaped blue eyes, and a thick tail. Its back is mostly covered in sharp brown quills, formed from its tough, dry hide. It has 2 large claws on its paws and feet. These claws are its primary weapons and are used for slashing, but can also be used for burrowing. Its claws and spikes can both break off and are shed regularly, but grow back quickly. Sandslash's broken parts can be used as carving plows for tilling farm fields. Thank you, Alola region.
Very ingenious.
You're welcome.
There.
The claws can become smoother if it lives in drier areas. It can curl into a large ball, which allows it to roll to attack or escape, protect itself from heat stroke, and guard its belly. Sandslash is also adept at climbing trees and is prone to ambush enemies from above. It also climbs trees to slash berries to feed Sandshrew waiting below. Sandslash can mostly be found in deserts. And Sandslash also lives in trees while sleeping for the night. It goes on to talk about the Alolan Sandslash. In the Alola region, Sandslash has an icy blue hide and quills covered in ice. These quills stand taller than a regular Sandslash's quills and resemble icicles. This Pokemon uses its hide for camouflage in the snow while leaving only its spines exposed. Unlike its Cantonian variant, the thick hide and icy spines completely prevent Alolan Sandslash from curling up into a ball. Its body emits cold air, which sharpens its quills. Its forepars are larger than its counterpart, and its claws are longer, thinner, and hooked at the tips. Formerly used for climbing trees, they now allow it to scale icebergs. Despite the weight of its ice-covered body, Alolan Sandslash is able to move swiftly by carving a path in the snow with its claws. It can move faster than any Pokemon while in snowy mountains. This Pokemon tends to live in the deeper parts of snowy mountains where climbing is forbidden. However, the sprays of snow it kicks up are popular shots for photographers.
See? See?
It's bad. And then it goes on to talk about how they also like to see the icy sparkles during the light of dawn. It uses that exact phrasing that the last Pokedex entry that we read did, which is kind of weird.
I did find the introduction of camouflage interesting. I like that they had brought that far below. Like, it's for camouflage. It can't roll and run as well, but as long as it's in the snow, it can get away from anything. So stay in the snow and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I suppose that, I mean, it doesn't say that in the Pokedexes, but, you know, we could probably infer that that is very likely true. Okay, all right. So, Professor Palm, of course, I don't know if you really know what goes on in my classroom, but I like to end each lesson with a pop quiz to see, you know, what my students have learned.
Oh, can I help? I have a few questions. They're easy,
you?
I promise. They're easy but informative.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Let them ask.
I mean, let's be honest here. These students really all they could take are easy questions.
There are no bad students, only bad teachers.
Yeah, trust me, that's true.
Well,
Except
you haven't
for
really
when it
met
comes to
these
Professor
students.
Jacob.
No.
Professor Jacob is a great teacher.
No, I mean,
regardless of his
I don't
students.
know. Is he though? I mean, sometimes.
I mean, have you ever tried to teach Corbin?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm
haven't
doing
tried
it
to
now.
teach Corbin.
I know that I would do a good job if I tried. I know it.
Well, what? Then try, damn it!
Well, then maybe I will next class. Next week, you let me teach it.
All right. No, no. All right. All right. So go ahead, get out your Rotom laptops. Put away any kind of Pokedexes that you might have. Maybe bring out some pens, some pencils, a calculator. Maybe we have to do some math. I don't know. A protractor probably would be good. Also, make sure to get out your like little blinders to make sure that neither of you are cheating off of each other.
Don't forget to pull out a sextant. You're gonna need to look at the stars for this quiz.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everybody's ready. I will read the first question. Question number 1. Last week, we learned Sandshrew prefer to hunt bug Pokemon from inside holes they dig in the sand. Where does Sandslash prefer to wait for its prey? We have the answers here. Let's go ahead and read them. Corbin responded with Sandslash prefer to wait for its prey in the trees. And Mr. Curtis responded with Sandslash does like to climb way up in the trees and attack its prey from above.
Jesus Christ.
True. That is correct. You guys are both correct. Full marks for both of you. Professor Palm, if you would like to administer the next question.
Of course. What is the weight difference between a Sandslash from Kanto and a Sandslash from Alola?
Yes, very easy, of course. Thank you for bringing the easy questions.
What now?
And of course, I mean, you guys know the density of ice, right? And so you can kind of
it's just
figure
water,
that
right?
out.
It's
Of
water.
course, and the ice to steel ratio of the spikes on the back of the Alolan Sandshrew. This is all basic, first day class knowledge.
Right, of
We
course.
definitely talked about this first day of class.
Okay, so Corbin, your answer was 13.6 kilograms. Ooh, very precise, very nice. Let's see what else. What was yours? Okay, so I'm sorry, my assistant little weirdo friend here. A Sandslash from Alola are 6.5 stones heavier on average than a Cantonian Sandslash. Is this the answer you want to go with?
I never take back an answer. This is
That's true.
This is the one and only.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, you're both wrong. I don't use stones as a measurement. The difference is actually 25.5 kilograms. That is a lot. The Alolan Sandslash is particularly heavier than a Kanto Sandslash by a lot.
All right, let me go ahead and read my next question. So, question number 3. Alolan Sandslash have icy spikes, which of course we talked about before. What keeps those spikes nice and sharp? All right, so Corbin responded to the question of what keeps Alolan Sandslash's spikes nice and sharp. He said the cold air emitted from its body. And Mr. Curtis responded with that frosty Alolan.
No.
Alolan?
Wrong. Misspelled it.
Alolan Sandslash. Well, he spelled Sandslash right, so I'll give him that. That frosty Alolan Sandslash spikes do get extra sharp from the frosty cold air that emits freely from its cold body. Yes. So, yes, it is the cold air that is emitted from its body as both correct. All right, Professor Palm, let's see what you got.
Final question, or do we get to one more after this?
This would be the last question.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to make it good. Okay.
Yes.
Make it good.
All right. Yep.
Using your best guesstimate, your best thought, what do you believe are the migratory patterns of an Alolan Sandslash.
Another easy one. Thank you so much for being generous. Because listen, I know you're an expert on these matters. You can really conjure up some pretty gruesome ones, and I've seen them. They're brutal. But this one, no problem.
All right, now we have both our answers. Let us see what we have. So I will start with you, Mr. Corbin. Let's see.
Please, just Corbin.
No, Mister. I like Mister. Thank you. I deserve some respect around here.
Winter hangs out in the mountains. Spring and fall, forests. Summer, sandy, rocky areas and beaches. Now let's see what our creepy little psychopath has come up with.
That's him. That's Curtis.
Okay. Alolan Sandslash do like to migrate from frosty tops of mountains to more temperate climates to forage for taste foods, and then to more arid environments to smooth down its body surface. Interesting.
Okay.
So this is what you both have assessments from. So let's think about this from the Alolan Pokemon's perspective. What is its weakness?
Its weakness is,
I mean,
nothing.
Let's be honest. There's a lot. There's a lot of weaknesses.
I mean,
that
fire.
Alolan Sandslash has.
Fire.
Fire
heat.
and fighting.
Flamey boys.
Yeah,
Think
and
about the fighting
punches.
types. Yeah, there's some pretty. There's crabrawlers that live on the beaches. So going down in the summertime, where it's most prevalent, and would get the snot kicked out of it.
Well, I was thinking regular Sandshrews too. I wasn't thinking just Alolan.
Ah, okay, I see. No, I understand that concept. So for the Alolan Sandslash, would like to migrate to the frosty tops of the mountains to more temperate climates to forage. Great work on that one. So for what I think would happen, what I believe from my studies, it was that it would, as the land was starting to freeze over for the winter, that's when Sandslash would come down, because then most of the Pokemon have mitigated to other areas to hide because they can't stand the harsh winter. Sandslash can. What better time to forage when everything's asleep or gone?
Yeah, it's true. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. But obviously, there's the trade-off is that there isn't as much to forage, but there's less competition.
So, Professor Palm, would you say that they got this question correct? How should I mark this in my grade book?
Honestly, give them half points, because there's definitely some things that I don't feel it, but there shows effort and promise in these answers. I respect that, and I like seeing where they're going from. So give them half points for it.
Thank you.
They did some good stuff here.
Yeah.
It's not all about failure and passing.
I see where my errors were, and I will correct them from now on.
You're right, Professor Palm. It's not all about failures and passes, although they did get 75%, both of them. So that is actually a failure in my class, so this was a fail for that.
Fuck.
Dang! Jake, you used to be cool. Okay, you never used to be cool, but come on.
Okay, well,
Jake.
Come on, man.
Jake.
You were a hard worker.
I was cool.
Hard worker, yes. Studious, yes. Formal, yes. Cool, no.
Yes, he's not. You're right. The only thing that would make me feel better is if I got to keep one of the Pokemon from class. I've never been able to do that, and the Professor Jacob has always said no. I would love to keep Frosty.
Okay, I cannot give you Frosty. He is my boy. However, I can give you... Hang on, let me go down. I'm going to jump in the hole real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
See if I dropped it. No, not here. No. Huh. No. Okay, I got it.
What is
All
it?
right, so, Corbin, since you're amazingly astute professor gave you a failing grade, I feel like you should get these bonus points. This is an Alolan Sandshrew egg.
Yes! Fuck yeah!
So,
Finally!
Now, the thing is, I'm not going to just give you a Pokemon because that just seems like cheating. I'm not some old man handing out 10 Charmanders to 10-year-olds. I want to make sure that you can actually grow with it. I want to make sure that you take care of it.
Of course.
Because if I ever come back and I find out you did it, I'm going to take it.
Oh my god. I will take care of it. I will raise as my own. I will sit on this egg, do whatever I have to do to help it grow.
Don't sit on the egg.
Okay,
I'll give you
Everybody knows to hatch an egg, you have to walk around with it a bunch. That's just common knowledge.
Oh, I think you had to keep it warm so that I don't have to pee on it or anything.
It's an Alolan. It's an Alolan Sandslash egg.
Oh, okay.
It's Alolan
So
Sandshrew
I'll put
egg.
it in the freezer.
Please don't keep it warm. That's honestly better.
Okay, all right, cool. Yes! Oh my god, you're the best professor ever. I have never gotten a Pokemon in my entire life, and he has never let me. It's only taken nearly 30 weeks for me to get this, and this is the best prize I could have ever gotten. Thank you, Professor Lucas.
Professor Palm, if you could step outside the classroom with me real quick, just briefly. We'll be right back.
What? Where are you going?
So, Okay, hey, so that was a fake egg that you gave him, right? It's not gonna turn into anything.
100%. He's gonna stick that thing in the freezer, and it's going to be nothing. Now, I do think he should be getting a Pokemon at his age, but it should be up to his parents and for the reading professor you to do it. But nah, if it does hatch, it's gonna hatch into just like it's candy inside. So we make sure that it's okay. Like once he puts it in the freezer, it's just gonna be candy.
He's so dumb, he might think that's what a baby Sandshrew looks like.
Now, keep in mind, I could be lying to you, and it's a real Sandshrew. We'll never know until we know.
I guess I better crack that bitch open then, huh?
Oh, shit, man, you're dark.
All right, let's head back into the classroom.
Yeah.
You're so cute. You're so cute already. You don't
So
even
anyway,
know
Corbin.
yet.
Corbin,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
When I come back, hopefully it's something beautiful and something you'll remember for as
can't wait.
long as you can.
I shake it around and here's like something rattling in it. Is that just how the baby sound? I mean, it's just so cute.
First of all, don't shake eggs.
I won't shake it. I don't want to shake
I'll
baby
take it
syndrome.
back. You shake that egg. I'll take it back.
No, I'll keep it. I'll take good care of it. I promise.
Don't worry, Professor Palm. I will take copious notes on how he takes care of that egg.
Oh, Curtis,
sure we
don't think
document
I
this
left you out. You got something too. You'll get something for your hard work.
What?
Hang on.
Please, Professor. I would
Okay.
never.
I have here-
impose myself.
Sadly, Sandslashes are not immortal. They do pass. And sadly, one or two have passed. But I was able to get a couple of their claws, and I turned them into gloves. So here you go.
That's cool.
Here's some Sandslash gloves for gardening, or whatever you want to use them for.
I mean, granted, it's not as cool as my present. I got a real Sandslash.
Yes, you certainly did get a real Sandslash.
Yeah.
Yes, Sandshrew. Yes, you did.
Why did you
Real.
wink when you said real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. That's a one-eyed blink.
Yeah, he has a Professor Palm. Professor Palm actually has a glass eye, so if you could not mention that, that would be.
Yeah, that Feraligatr did not go down without a fight, but he did go down.
Wow. Well. Thank you, Professor. These gloves will come in great handy when it'll definitely speed up the time of getting out of those cocoons in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you like it.
Through the web. That'd be great.
Don't ever contact me. I like that you like it. Don't contact me. Don't call me.
All right. That does it for today's lesson. Does anybody know what Pokemon we will be talking about next time?
Well, I'm gonna go back into my hole. I don't know what y'all are doing.
You're leaving already?
I came here for variance. I have things to do. I got my own life to live, kid.
Okay, well, fine. Well, thank you for coming, and I'm gonna miss you. And you brought something to this class that nobody else brought.
Sense of humor, good taste, a Dugtrio hole.
Yeah, all that, and
Mostly the Dugtrio hole.
and a Pokemon for me. What I've always wanted. In this
Yes,
class, and I appreciate
yes. Enjoy your
Thank you,
egg.
Professor. I appreciate your guidance and your extra level of dynamic that you've brought to
that. Please
this
come
class.
back soon. We beg of you, please.
Yes, Professor Palm, I have to say thank you so much for your insight on the regional variants of Sandslash. You know, your expertise in this area has definitely made this an excellent class. And I will, when the next time we talk about a regional variant, I will have your phone number on speed dial because we just don't talk enough.
You didn't have it on speed dial already? I have yours as like Gardevoir, winky face. That's what it has on my phone.
Well, that's a lie. It's not true. It didn't happen.
Oh, no,
Again.
it's not a lie. It's an unconfirmed truth.
Yep. Goodbye, Professor Palm. I'll miss you.
See ya. Bye. Big Dugtrio, go! Away!
Oh, there he goes. And why did he make there was already a hole. Why did he make a second hole?
Well, because Dugtrio can't dig an already made hole. Then it wouldn't.
I mean, that's true, but he could have just walked out through the second
where's
hole.
the
Or the door. I have a door.
Ah.
There's a door right there.
Is it fixed from when Team Rocket Grunt Ryan broke it down?
Yes, it's you walked through it to get into class today.
Oh, yeah, I did do that, didn't I?
Let's resume our classroom activities, okay? We're not done with class yet, because does everybody know what Pokemon we will be discussing next week? It is a poison type Pokemon, so I think this might be the first. Oh no, obviously we talked about.
Is it?
So is it a tentacle?
Is it cum? I'm sorry, Muck. My dyslexia kicked in.
No, we are talking about Nidoran, more specifically the female Nidoran.
Ooh.
Yeah, so It's interesting. It'll be the first time that we talk about a Pokemon that has a completely different Pokedex entry for its different genders. So that'll be interesting.
That'll be awesome.
All right. So that does it for today's lesson. Until next time. Oh, I suppose if you have questions for me, you can, of course, Gmail me, which is, of course, Gengar Mail. You can Gmail me at wwopokemon@gmail.com. If you don't have a Gengar Mail, I suggest you get one. But if you still don't want to, you can contact me on Twitter, which is, of course, the Bird Pokemon themed website, at wwopokemon there as well. All right. Again, that does it for today's class. Until next time, class is dismissed. Alright guys, this is going to be another one of those rare occasions when I break character. I have to say a huge thank you to Lucas for being our guest professor on this lesson. I want to throw
Thank you, Lucas.
What?
I said yes, thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, claps for his excellent...
I love that great energy you've brought to the episode today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so Lucas, feel free to plug whatever it is that you want. Just go for it.
I am one of the team behind the PokeScience podcast. We are a podcast dedicated to teaching how the real world connects to the Pokemon world. I was so excited to be part of this for this specific episode because the Sandslashes that we know in the game are based on real-world pangolins. They're one of my favorite animals, in part that they're so cute, and they can climb trees, and they do have all these cool things, but also in that they are an endangered species that most people don't learn about. So hopefully people get to learn more about them. If you want to learn more about our show, that's PokeScience. That's the PokeScience podcast. There'll be a link, hopefully, somewhere in this description, somewhere for you to find us. We're on where you'll find just about any one of the podcast sites typically has our show. We are so excited to teach people. We have so much planned for this year. Also, if you guys are interested in learning more about the real pangolin, the real animal, David Attenborough is the vice president of Fauna and Flora International. They are people that help to protect and keep pangolins from being abused and exploited because they are the most trafficked animal on the planet. It's one of the saddest things I wish people knew more about. But I'm hoping that through stuff like this, we can get nerds and other people to just come together and be like, hey, this thing is cool in the game. It's cool in real life. But thank you guys so much for having me. I don't get to swear on my shows, which means I can swear here.
Let it out, brother. You can say whatever you want on here.
Yeah, we recently had to change it from the science of Pokemon simply because Nintendo's been really Nintendo-y lately. So it is PokeScience to make sure that Nintendo stops being Nintendo.
Man, we might have to worry about that if we ever get big. All right. So yeah, we will see you guys for the next lesson.
Later, guys.
Thank you guys so much for having me.